What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Underestimated Podcast. It's your host, Jeremy. You're back with another episode. So in today's episode, what we're gonna be doing is reviewing, but also grading every WNBA draft pick of 2025. I was gonna do a mock draft. I had already planned to do so, but at the time that I was gonna record it, it was probably like 2 to 3 days before the actual draft. So I just decided not to because there was like no way I knew that I was gonna be able to record and release it all before the day of the draft. So I was like, no, instead what we'll do is after the draft, review it, and I was just gonna just simply review it and get my thoughts, but I also want to throw a little bit of fun into it and grade every pick. So that's what we're gonna do. Usually the draft is composed of 36 picks in 3 rounds, but I believe this year it was either 48 or 49 because there's some new expansion teams. So let's get into it. So the first pick was obviously UConn guard, national champion, Paige Beckers. I mean, I think that was the obvious pick at number one. I think it's perfect and beautiful for the Dallas Wings because now you're pairing her up in a backcourt with. Please excuse this bump that's on my face right here. I keep looking at it and it's truly annoying me. Anyway, so you pair her up in a backcourt with Arike Agumawale. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. That team is gonna feed families. That team's gonna feed families. It's gonna be very hard to stop those two. They're about to give defenses trouble. Because the way they can just both create their own shot, and there was Paige just being so unselfish and wanting to get her teammates involved. It's gonna be great for the both of them. And then Paige can also play off the ball. So when Enrique has the ball, she's still in position to put herself where she can score still. So I don't need to sit here on this. Just know it's finna get scary in Dallas. I would go as far to say that they're probably gonna be a playoff team this year. They won't go far. I would say at most the second round. But they could make some noise. They can make some noise for sure. So now with this second pick, the Seattle Storm selected Dominique Malanga out of France. I don't know too much about her. But I've heard the name Baby Wimby. Obviously the French connection is there as well. But I've heard the name Baby Wimby be thrown out. Obviously, we've seen the impact Wimby has been able to make in such a short span of time. Now, I did see a slight highlight tape when she got drafted, and she's dunking. She is 6'8", I believe. No, 6'6". And she's a dog. You're gonna pair her alongside Skylar Diggins and them over there in Seattle. I don't really know if she's gonna be super impactful right now. Actually, she's not even she hasn't even started training camp. I think she just completed the NBL playoffs in France, and so she hasn't even gotten back over to the U.S. to start training camp yet. But when she does get over here, I think they said something about, I believe the Storm said something about that they'll get an update on her this week sometime about when she could be closer to returning back to the U.S. and playing in training camp and everything. I believe preseason starts either this weekend or early next week. And so, like I said, I don't know if she'd be super impactful, but I think long term, she could be special. All right, so now we jump into the third overall pick of the draft, which was Sanaya Citron, guard from Notre Dame. Um, I'm not too big on Sanaya Citron. I saw her play obviously at Notre Dame, which I watched a lot, because of Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles. But I mean, I get it. Like, she was great for that team because you had the facilitator in Olivia Miles. You had the scorer in Hannah Hidalgo and defender also. She's 3 and D. Or should I just say two-way player? And then you had Sanaya Citron, who actually averaged 14 points this past season. But I look at her as more of a defender. Now she can probably be like, I hate to compare her to a male, but she could probably be like Dyson Daniels of the WNBA. Someone who's kind of sets the tone on defense, but can still get you a bucket. Like, they can still get theirs if they want to do that. I think that's what should be for the Washington Mystics. I mean, of course, they're in rebuild mode and they're trying to just put the pieces together so they can have some stepping stones in the near future. But I think Citron is a pretty good piece to kind of add to just the overall team aspect of it. So, yeah. And the Washington Mystics followed it up with another great pick right after that, at pick number 4, with forward from USC, Kiki Iriafen. One of my favorite players to watch this past season. Obviously, the correspondent to Juju Watkins. I think you add her with Citron, that defense is going to be pretty elite, and I'd say probably the next 2 to 3 years or so. Because she's going to be able to hold things down in the paint, and Citron is going to have that perimeter, in shambles. And so, I think defensively, they're set. Now, offensively, they're going to have to just kind of just be systematically sound. But defense, I believe they're set. And at number 5, the newly expanded Golden State Valkyries selected, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Josete? Josette? Yeah, I think that's Josette. It's French, I believe. Oh, it's Lithuanian. Excuse me. Forward from Lithuania. Don't know much about her. So I can't really say much. So yeah, she's a very interesting pick. I'm gonna say that. She's a mystery pick, and we will see what happens with her. All right. Now moving on to number 6. The Washington Mystics selected guard Georgia Amore from Kentucky, who this past season averaged 16, 2, 5, and shot about 40%. So now you look at it, you have sort of your new big 3 in Georgia Amore, Sanaya Citron, and then Kiki Iriafen. And I think that's pretty elite. You got your guard of the future, your point guard, your floor general, your team leader, your captain probably. You got your lady down in the paint, the whole thing's down in Kiki Iriafen. And then you got your defensive anchor, potentially, to hold things down on the perimeter with Sanaya Citron. I think that's pretty good. This is probably just going to be one of those teams that obviously is just going to need time before they can be a legit, respectable force in the WNBA. But like I said, give them like 2 to 3 years, and they could make some noise. Now I did just see actually. Now that I think about it, earlier today that Georgia Moore is out for her rookie season now with I think a torn ACL in training camp, and then I believe was it Kiki? Someone else. No, I think it was Aaliyah Edwards. Got hurt in training camp. I don't know what's going on in those WNBA training camps, but if they are that legit, they might have to slow those down so that players stop getting hurt because season-ending injury and then a 2-week injury all in like what 4 or 5 days of training camp. It's not good. Not good at all. The Connecticut Sun at number 7 selected a dog in Anissa Morrow, forward from LSU. Beautiful pick. I think she can come off the bench and absolutely provide you with a hard-nosed presence on the boards. She will rebound, and she is a force in the paint. And she can block some shots, but I still think she has obviously another gear she can kind of kick it into as far as her defensive game. But overall, she is a dog. To be honest with you, 7 is an okay spot. I think she should have been a top 5 pick. But that's neither here nor there. Still an overall great pick for the Sun. And I don't know if she's going to start right away. But if they're bringing her off the bench as a 7th or 8th woman, like, yeah, they're going to be pretty solid. And so then the Connecticut Sun followed right after Anissa Morrow with the 8th pick, selecting Sanaya Rivers, guard from NC State. Those two could, like, that's like the perfect balance, if you ask me. Because Sanaya can, 3-level score. She can score from all 3 levels at a very high level. Can create her own shot. Can score off the ball. She was a Gamecock before, she was a Wolfpack. And seeing her at South Carolina, I hate this. I hate to see her go, but it's what it is. But no, that doesn't. She's a dog, and one of the most high prolific scorers in this entire draft. She might be the best scorer in this draft, outside of Paige Beckers. Yeah, she just might be the best overall. One of the best. She's not over Paige. Now the LA Sparks take with the 9th pick Sarah Ashley Barker, Bama guard. Don't know too much about her. I just know she's one of the older rookies coming out of this class. So of course that means like more poise, leadership, maturity, all that. Another one of those mystery, interesting picks. I don't know what exactly she's going to bring to the Sparks, but I think she can still bring a high level of intensity, fast-paced offense. She's got a very high energy and a high motor, so we'll see how that works out for LA. At number 10, the Chicago Sky selected Asia Sika, forward from Slovenia. I don't know anything about her. She's gonna be another one of those mystery picks. So we will see what she does in the WNBA. All right. Number 11. The Chicago Sky follow up the 10th pick at 11 with Haley Van Lith, guard from TCU. Great pick. Now you're looking at a potential big 3 of the future of Haley Van Lith, Angel Reese, and Camila Cardoso. Pretty elite. Not gonna lie, pretty elite. My thing with Haley, I would say she's a great player. She kind of reminds me a little bit of Jalen Brunson. Kind of just one of those shorter, stockier guards that use their body or depend on their body to kind of score. She does need to improve on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think I wouldn't say she's a liability on defense, but she does need to improve. And then also probably her playmaking. Playmaking and facilitating, because she averaged about 3 assists last year, which isn't bad. I think if you're like a point guard, then you should be averaging like 5, 6. I mean, like, but in basketball, you're dealt either one of two types of point guards. You got the pass first point guard, like Magic Johnson, Russell Westbrook, Oscar Robertson, or you have the score first point guards, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Shea. All right, so at 12, the Dallas Wings get potentially their future sixth woman in Isaiah James, guard from NC State. Not gonna lie, you come out of this draft with Paige Beckers and Isaiah James, not to mention that Arike Agumbawale is already on your roster. The scoring that this team can do is utterly insane. You mean to tell me if I'm a defense, I got to deal with Paige Beckers and Arike Agumbawale to start the game off? Then I sit Paige Beckers down, and then I bring in Isaiah James right after that. Again, another top 5 all-around scorer, lefty, in this draft class. She was alongside Sanaya Rivers at NC State this past season, and they did a great job of working off of each other. And I think if it comes down to that, her and Paige or her and Arike can do the same. So with the 13th pick, first pick in the second round, the Las Vegas Aces selected Aaliyah Nye, guard from Bama. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I did not watch that much or any Bama basketball this year, so I don't know much about her. But she averaged 12 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. I don't know if she'll play, but maybe I think her developmental process could be exciting. So I just would say she's one of those picks that you just have to give her time. Dallas Wings get another hit in picks with Madison Scott, guard from Ole Miss. Can score, rebounds exceptionally well for a guard. She averaged about, let's say, roughly 7 boards this past season. And she shoots nearly 50% from 3. So you get a high, efficient scorer who can also grab boards at the guard position. Yeah, she's gonna be tough. I think she can definitely has the opportunity to potentially win a Most Improved Player award while in the WNBA. So Dallas was low-key cooking in this draft. They have at the 15th pick, the Minnesota Lynx selected Anastasia Olari Kosu, forward from Russia. And she literally has no stats on the WNBA website. So I don't know anything about her, but go Lynx, I guess. All right, now we're on 16. The Chicago Sky take Maddie Westbeld, forward from Notre Dame. She could be an exciting player off the bench. So now you talk about Haley Van Lith, Camila Cardoso, injuries, and now their potential future six woman, and Maddie Westbeld. Chicago's cooking something up there in Chi-Town as well. Now you have the Golden State Valkyries selecting Cheyenne Sellers, guard from Maryland. Cheyenne Sellers just may be the steal of this draft. I say that because of this situation in its entirety. She goes 16. I'm sorry, 17 actually. She goes 17 to the Golden State Valkyries, are obviously a expanding team, and she might be the cornerstone or the franchise piece to that organization going forward. I mean, she's a two-way player. She can defend. She can score at a high level. She's somewhat efficient. I think she probably needs to brush up on her efficiency just a tad bit. But I mean, she can facilitate exceptionally well, and she rebounds, I'd say, pretty well for a guard as well. So this is a great pick, I'd say, for the Valkyries. With the 18th pick in the WNBA draft, the Atlanta Dream selected South Carolina's very own Tahina Paopao. To be honest with y'all, this is not my South Carolina bias talking, but I don't think Tahina Paopao should have fell this far. I think she was projected to be a top 10 pick, if I'm not mistaken. And I think at the worst, top 12. And the Dream still are at 18. I don't see how she fell down this far. I mean, I do know for a fact that this year at South Carolina, she kind of tried to show her ability to kind of, put her head down and attack downhill. Which I'm not saying she can't do that, but I mean, I think we all look at Tahina Paopao as primarily a three-point shooter, and she kind of took a step back in that area this season. But I still think it's a great pick for the Dream. My hope is that they play her as a two guard in the W and not a point guard. I just think she's better serviceable off the ball than on the ball. Her shot creation is a bit iffy at times. So I just need her to be set on that wing so that, they can get her involved. But I still think overall it's a great pick for the Dream. With the 19th pick, the Indiana Fever select Michaela Timpson, forward from Florida State. I can't say I know much about her, but according to her stats, look like she's a pretty good scorer. Can rebound quite well for a forward, and seems pretty efficient. So I think it's a great pick. Going to be a great bench player, what I would assume, for the Indiana Fever. Looks like Kayla might be bringing some help in. Another South Carolina girl gets off the board as the 20th pick by the Indiana Fever comes out to be Bree Hall, guard from South Carolina. I know I said Cheyenne Sellers might be the steal of this draft. Bree Hall has a chance to be that as well. Two-way player. I hope that the Fever unleash Bree from a offensive side of the ball, because I know she's going to defend. I'm not going to lose any sleep at night about Bree Hall handling her business on the defensive side of the ball. She's going to lock up. She's gonna do her thing on the defensive side of the ball. My hope is, because she's a very good perimeter shooter, but not just that, she can actually score at all three levels. But I think that, her being the defensive anchor of that Carolina team, she just kind of was really more so asked to hold things down on defense and create more offensive opportunities for the offense. But I hope in Indy that she's able to kind of have more freedom and flexibility on the opposite side of the ball. But a amazing pick by the Fever. Another Carolina girl gets off the board here with the LA Sparks selecting Sanaya Fagan, forward from South Carolina. This is a interesting pick to me. Obviously, you got Cameron Brink there. And so, looking at it, they kind of look at her to, you know, be a paint presence alongside Cameron. I think she can do. But I think there's gonna be a interesting developmental process for Sanaya Fagan. She's gonna get boards. She's gonna block shots. She was pretty efficient at South Carolina. But looking at it, she only averaged, I think, 3 rebounds. She needs to get up to like 6, 7. So I do believe she can come in and make some kind of impact right away. But I think with time and the right developmental process, she'll be pretty solid. So the Sky take with the 30th pick, Aisha Coulibaly. I'm assuming some kind of correlation or relation to Bilal Coulibaly, forward from the Washington Wizards. And if she's anything like her, I don't know, brother, cousin, whatever, she's gonna be pretty nice. Averaged about 13.6 boards and 2 assists at Texas A&M. And she shot about 45%. So I think she can be nice. Another one of those players I think that can kind of just come in and set their tone defensively, and then using that as fuel and fire to open up the offensive game for themselves. The 31st pick, not the 31st, the 23rd. The 23rd pick, the Washington Mystics select Lucy Olson, guard from Iowa. She can be a very streaky scorer coming in for the Mystics. Averaged about 15 points last year, 4 assists and 4 boards. She kind of was looked at to be the Caitlin Clark void after she departed, and also Kate Martin as well. And she scored pretty well. She could be a very streaky scorer, but a very interesting, also I think a timely pick for the Mystics. With the 24th pick, the Minnesota Lynx selected Delia Daniels, forward from Washington. Delia is a very interesting pick. Averaged about 11.7 boards and assists, shooting about 47% from the field. I think she's going to be what they deem as a glue girl. I'm not exactly sure where she's. I mean, obviously by her stats, that says she can score, she can rebound. But how exactly is she going to use that in an impactful way? For the Mystics. I'm sorry, not the Mystics, the Lynx. And so I think she's gonna be a fierce competitor, fire, energy, and kind of just like some rugged grit and determination. But I think she's just in totality gonna be a glue girl for that team long term. And to end things off in the second round, with the 25th pick, the Connecticut Sun selected Rhea Marshall, center / forward from USC. This is another one of those interesting picks that I can't really speak on. I mean, she averaged about 10 points, 10 rebounds, basically like a double-double. About 2 assists and about 43% from the field. I think she's just going to be one of those people that just works really hard, dedicated, and just I say another timely pick. I don't know if she's gonna really get any playing time, but maybe in the next 2 or 3 years or so, she can probably make her way within the rotation and make an impact. All right, start things off in the third round. The Seattle Storm selected with the 26th pick Serena Sundell, guard from Kansas State, who averaged 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists, shooting about 47% from the field. This is another interesting pick. Someone who I don't think will find the rotation very early, but another pick that I believe with time and development should be solid. With the 27th pick in the WNBA draft, the Dallas Wings select J.J. Quinterly, guard from West Virginia, who averaged 16 points, 3 rebounds, and about 3 assists as well, shooting about 44% from the field. Now, when I hear the last name Quinterly, I think she may have some relation to Javon Quinterly, JQ, Jelly Fam. And if that is any correlation to her, yeah, she can be. But I mean, yeah, shifty, very elusive guard who can. Listen, the Wings in this draft cooked. They cooked. They've got a bunch of scorers who can really raise some problems and concern for defenses in the WNBA. They cooked. They got another great scorer. Scoring wise, they get A from me out of this draft because they one thing about it, if you can expect anything from the Dallas Wings this upcoming season, they will score. Will they lock down and defend? We'll see. But I guarantee you, from top to bottom, they will score. They will put up points. I would not be surprised if they come in straight out the gate, straight out of the gate, and be the league leaders in overall team points per game. With the 28th pick, the Sparks selected. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Liatu King, guard from Notre Dame. Kind of was the 6th woman on that Notre Dame team. She can score. Very efficient scorer and rebounder. I think, is a pretty good pick for the Sparks. Madison Connor is the 29th pick coming out of this draft to the Seattle Storm, guard from TCU. Kind of was the counterpart in scoring to Haley Van Lith this past season. I don't think she's going to find the rotation, but maybe she does in 2 to 3 years. Interesting pick for the Storm. With the 30th pick in the draft, Golden State Valkyries select Caitlin Chen, guard from UConn. This could potentially be their guard tandem of the future. Caitlin Chen, Cheyenne Sellers. If you ask me, that's pretty elite. Caitlin can come in and score and get her teammates involved. Very efficient scorer. I think she can be pretty good. I look at her as kind of like maybe like just one of those smaller guards that's just very shifty, nifty, and crafty. Maybe like a Fred VanVleet. Wings get, with the 31st pick, Arinette Vonleh, who may have some relation to Noah Vonleh. And also Cheyenne Sellers, she's Lenora Sellers, quarterback for the South Carolina Gamecocks, younger sister. So it's a lot of connections and relations in this draft specifically. Center from Baylor though, they get some size. They was drafting pretty guard heavy before here. I think she can be legit. 12 point per game score, 5 rebound per game, 1 assist, and shot about 58% from the field. She can be solid. Very good pick, I believe, for the Wings. Still cooking. Mystics also keep cooking with Zay Green as their next pick, which is, I believe, pick 32. Guard from Alabama. 13 point per game score, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. About 42%. She can kind of be 3 and D. She got another year she can take it into, but I think she can definitely be 3 and D in this league. I think that's another great pick by the Washington Mystics. So the Fever get Yvonne Ejim with the 33rd pick in the draft. 50 point per game score, 7 rebounds, and about an assist. Shot 55% from the field. This can be some size down low, making an impact in the paint. I would say that she needs to brush it up a bit on the defensive side of the ball. But overall, she can be solid. I don't know if she breaks the rotation year 1. But maybe by year 3 or so, she could break that rotation. Jordan Hobbs, Michigan guard, is the 34th pick in this draft as she gets drafted by the Seattle Storm. 8 point per game score, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 41%. This pick is iffy to me. I just think development is just going to be her best friend. Because she's not really great in any areas, but can be great in some areas with time and development. So, interesting, but not a horrible pick for the Storm. Aces get a steal right here with the 35th pick, drafting Harmony Turner, guard from Harvard. 18 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 41% from the field. Harmony's a dog. HT is a dog. I am a Las Vegas Aces fan, and so I'm happy to bring her in. Smart, high IQ player. Obviously, she comes from Harvard, so you know what Harvard is academic wise. I think this is a great pick for the Aces. Obviously, we just lost Kelsey Plum. We brought in Jewel Lloyd, but I think we still need another scoring punch to kind of help compensate for Chelsea, Jewel, and Asia. And I think she could potentially be our 6th woman of the year right out the gate if the Aces chooses to do so. Miss Taylor Theory is the forward from Ohio State who was drafted with the 36th pick in this draft by the Atlanta Dream. 10 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 60% from the field. Efficient score. I don't know if she's gonna get in the rotation. So this may be just a throwaway pick for the Dream. The Lynx get what I believe could be their best draft pick in the 3rd round. Aubrey Griffin, forward from UConn. 8 point per game score, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and about 53% from the field. Aubrey's 3 and D. She will defend and score. So I believe she will cut the rotation in year 1. If she don't, that'll surprise me. She's gonna obviously bring in championship pedigree from just recently winning the championship and then at UConn this past season. So I think this is a very, very solid pick for the Lynx. And with the last pick, the 38th pick in this draft, the New York Liberty select Asia Kane from France. I don't know anything about her. She literally has no stats on the WNBA draft board. So my assumption by that is she probably won't even play. But yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in. I didn't. It crossed my mind as I went through. I didn't give any grades as I went on. Maybe I'll throw some editing in here to where y'all see um the grades as I go by. But that's my apologies, y'all. Anyways, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Always remember, don't underestimate, appreciate. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow the channel and give it a 5-star if you're on the audio only version on YouTube. I'm sorry, not YouTube. Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Once again, thank you guys tuning in. I'm gone.